Hello everybody, this is Kim again. I had a request for some pies tomorrow, so I got to make some pie crust, and I thought this would be a good opportunity to make a video to show you guys how to make some basic pie crust. So today, all we need for utensils and prep work is a rolling pin, our big stainless steel bowl, some pie pans, all-purpose flour. I got my ice water, chilled ice water already prepared. Got some sugar, a little salt, got my pure vegetable shortening, spatula, another scraper spatula, and my pie cutter, and my measuring cup. And this recipe calls for 1 cup shortening, 3 cups flour. And I found that you have to basically use the same measuring cup for the shortening as you do the flour, because if you use 2 different measuring cups, even though they're cups, for some reason it comes out different. So I like this old standby one I've had for probably 30 years. It's pretty accurate, and I just get it level like that. Let's get this rolling pin out of the way. We don't need that right now. There's our first cup. So it's 1 to 3. 1 cup shortening, 3 cups flour. Pretty standard. That won't make enough for what I need, so I'm going to do a double. So I'm going to do 2 cups shortening, 6 cups flour. A little messy getting that in there. There we go. And I get it level. That way I know I got exactly a cup, just like that. Get that little glob right there. And there's my 2 cups shortening. Okay. Probably not even going to need this anymore. Or this. So we'll get them out of our way. Give us some elbow room. And then we will go with exactly 6 cups of flour. I just level it off, just like the shortening. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and there's number 6. And that's pretty standard. 3 to 1. 1 part shortening, 3 parts flour. Okay, we don't need this anymore. Get our flour out of the way. And now, this is a preference. I like to do my pinch of salt thing in there. Salt just accents nicely. And then I also like a little pinch of sugar in mine. Just a little. And then we go through a process that they call cutting it in. We cut the shortening into the flour. This is a pastry cutter. Blades will push the shortening through the flour, and you're looking for a nice big granular texture when we get it right. See how we're cutting the flour and the shortening together? You're not stirring, you're not whipping, you're cutting. Not be shortening out once in a while. And I found out the best way that I know when I've got it correct is there's no powdery look left in my bowl. And this takes a little bit, especially when you're doing a double batch like this. But it doesn't take too long. And if you know how to do it properly, once again, you save a lot of money making your own pie crust, and there's nothing like the taste of homemade pie crust. It's so much better. And pie crust is one of those things, depending on what kind of shortening you use, or even a higher end flour, it does make a difference. It does turn out better. So I've heard some people in the old days used to use lard for their pie crust and come up with some of the flakiest pie crust you've ever eaten, but I've never had the luxury of getting to try that yet. So you can kind of see how your flour and shortening is coming together already, but it's not ready yet. A little bit off there, make sure we're getting everything incorporated properly. There we go. See, it's still dusty looking. That's not what we want. We don't want dust. That makes a grainy pie crust whenever you don't get all that flour cut into there properly, I found out. Took me a long time to perfect pie crust. A lot of failures. You gotta have the Benjamin Franklin attitude whenever you're doing pie crust. Keep trying until you get it right. I think everybody's pie crust comes out to be their own whenever they figure it out. I've tried the pure butter. I've tried blending it. This one here is pretty foolproof. It comes out pretty consistent for me. And it holds up well. I can fill them up with my favorite fillings and it comes out real well. But we're getting close. You see how that's all coming together and my bowl doesn't look dusty anymore? It's getting there. You can kind of take it and see how it kind of sticks together already like that, even without any moisture added to it. And there's no need in me cutting the video off and coming back later to show you, because that way you do not really get the full effect of how stuff really turns out. I try not to make it boring for you, just informative. That's what my goal is. Anyway, this is looking good. I think we about got it cut in pretty evenly. Looks the same everywhere. I used to hear people say it should kind of have a small pea resemblance. Well, I don't know if you see that or not, but okay. That's beautiful. All right, let's get rid of this. Got to run me a sink of water. Now this part gets a little tricky and messy. Wipe this up for you guys. Okay. This is chilled ice water. And it does make a lot of difference to use the chilled ice water, because that way your shortening doesn't melt whenever you've got your hands in there working this. And what I like to do is kind of get a free start on my tossing like this, so I get the feel of it. And I just dribble a little bit on there and I let it splash off the back of my hand. That way it doesn't make a puddle. It does not make a puddle that way. It kind of splashes it around. Okay, it's going to take quite a bit. There's no accurate measurement on this. You just gotta work it until it's right where you want it. And yes, in case anybody's wondering, I am a certified food handler. I'm ServSafe certified. I have a food permit, retail permit. I have a regular, every 6 months, Board of Health inspection comes through and checks everything for me. I take a lot of pride in doing things clean and sanitary for you guys. I do bare hands on this kind of cooking, because anything that like this gets cooked in the oven is fine, and I guarantee you my hands are spotless. They're in soap water all the time. Cannot do things like this with gloves on very well. Okay, we're starting to come together. See, but it's not there. Got a long way to go yet. Probably making you a little dizzy spinning that bowl around, but yeah, I don't like to let the ice stay in there because I don't want it to make a pool of water. And what I've noticed is, see how it starts sticking to me? I know it's not ready. When it starts unsticking to me, then I know I'm getting close. Making what we're looking for is a big dough ball. See how that just dribbled in there like a sprinkler? I've done so much of this type of thing, my hands are kind of like rough and machines themselves. Oh, it's starting to look really good. It's starting to look really good. You guys see that? How that's coming together? Kind of try to like to get these done quickly so I don't have to start and stop my videos, and try not to make too many silly mistakes in the process, and keep it real. I'm all about keeping it real. Oh, we're starting to get close, guys. Splash a little bit more, get my ice cubes out of there. Especially in the summertime when it's hot, that ice water is a must. And if you've got really extremely cold ice water that comes out of the tap, that's just fine too. All right, you see how that's coming together? Starting to come together. It's coming off my hands. And it'll trick you. You'll think, oh, it's there. And then you'll start rolling it out and like, oh, it's a little dry. But look, see there how it's coming together? That's pretty good, guys. Pretty good. Kind of dry and wet at the same time. Isn't that odd? You see that texture? It's still crumbly enough to work, but yet when you press it, it holds together really nice. Almost like Play-Doh. Yep, I think we're about there. I might just go like this. See that? Just sprinkle it a teeny bit more. And I'm not going to toss my water because I've had this happen before to where I think it's wet enough, and then when I start rolling out, nope. A little bit more. This should make 4 or 5 pie crust easily. Put that out of the way. Mop off there. Clean our table off. And what I'm doing is just making videos to teach people the raw basics. That's my intent. So if you want to know how to make a pie crust, you got a video to learn from. I like these pre-cut delicatessen sheets to roll my pie crust in. You can get them at your food service stores usually. And I just eyeball this. It's probably between 1/2 pound and 0.75 if you actually weighed it out. That's a little bigger than I need, but I'm trying to show you guys quickly. And see, I can tell already. See how it's cracking on me? It's a little bit too dry. So I'm already going to put it back in here because I don't want to fight it in my pan. Been there, done that. And put a teeny bit more moisture in there. If I see those dry cracks, I know it's going to give me a problem. See how the whole thing is coming together? It's like one big ball now. That's about where we need it to be. All right, let's try it again. Whoops, get back in there. Get back in there, little guy. I go ahead and pre-shape a little bit, like I'm patting out a big hamburger. So I get my round shape. I hope that guy's recording. All right. Here's my other sheet. Here's my little rolling pin. I gotta use my edge to my advantage so I can hold that down. Turn it around here. Kind of push down the center and lift up a little bit when you get to the edge. Push down, lift up. Push down, lift up. That way you don't have a thin edge and a thick center. You're pushing that thick center out. And this is reality. This is how it is. Push that thick center out, lift it up slightly so you get that even thickness. There you go. That's a bad habit saying that when I used to work at the restaurant. We used to laugh and joke and cut up and say silly things all the time. We had our own little communication back in the kitchen, and the waitresses would come back there and hear us talking. They'd be like, "What are you saying?" We had our own little code. They never knew what we were talking about. Anybody that's working in the restaurant knows what we're talking about. All right. It's doing real well. I haven't even turned it over one time yet. Lift that guy up. Flip it over. Loosen it. Let's do it a little bit more. Kind of even it out a little bit. Make sure I got plenty. Fill my pan up. Well, it's putting on a show for me. It's looking pretty good. There we go. I'm pretty happy with that. Lift that side loose. Lift it. Lift this side off. Take my pie pan, turn it upside down. And I go ahead and trim up my edge now. I probably got 1.5 inches that I'm leaving there. Of course, this goes back in the bowl for the next one. Okay, put this out of the way for a minute. Now put my hand under here, lift the whole thing up, flip it over just like that. Pull that guy off. Center it up. A little bit low on that side, a little bit too thick on this side. Adjust it just a little bit. Let it fall down in the pan, like that. This is going to be a nice thick one. This will hold a good fruit and berry pie or something, a real good heavy fruit pie. Okay? Then I just roll this under. And some of these pie crust makers get really fancy on their edges. I'm not real fancy. I've got my own little thing I do, but it's not elaborate. I can't spend hours on something. Some people can spend 2 hours making those pretty little things on their pie crust. Nope, I got to get it done. Okay, you see how I tucked all that underneath there? I got that roll like that. Now I just go around and pinch, pinch. It's kind of weird looking, I know. But you'll develop your own little pattern. And then I go back around again and repinch it, and I'll show you why. This is just my starter pinch. Like I said, when you work in a restaurant and you got to do a dozen of these and you're in a hurry, you learn a system that you can do it quickly on. See, that's just like that. I like to go back through here. This is the way I pretty it up a little bit right here. And when I'm doing this, I'm actually pressing that down on that lip of that pie pan, and that'll hold it down there in the baking process, because I'm going to pre-bake these crusts for pudding-filled pies. And so I need to make sure this crust is sitting down there good and firm. Okay, there you go, guys. And then, since it's going to be a pre-bake, there's one more step I'm going to do for a pre-bake to show you. Got my oven on. Find a fork in here. My forks walk away. I don't know where they go. I really don't know where the forks are. There's one here that works. Okay, so if you're going to pre-bake a pie crust, you need to prick it just like a pizza crust. Put a bunch of holes in it, and that lets the air escape while it's cooking. Some people fill them with beans and bake them. I don't have to do that. I never had that issue. I just kind of make sure it's pressed in there good. And there you go, guys. Homemade pie crust. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Have a great evening. Bye-bye.